shoes are at this door in the rain. Good morning. It's coming out to milk Miss Maggie. Hey, hey, stay. Come on, back up. Back up. Thank you. Okay, so this is the current milking stanchion situation. We got this off a friend of ours. It's a old milking head bale. It was just the head bale, and Dom's put the poles on so that Maggie can be directed into it. The thing that we are wondering is whether to put a fence like here with two gates. So a gate would go into this area and a gate would obviously let Maggie into her lane to be able to milk her. So it would probably look like a small panel, a small plain panel, and then two gates on either side. I think what this would achieve is the fact that the calf can stay in there. Right now, here, can you see her right there? She's in the crate, which is in our house yard, which is killing the grass. And it's not ideal. It's quite small for her. She can only sort of eat and sleep, that's all she does anyway. But so we want to, block this off. What I think also that would achieve is keeping all the manure out of there, because that's where we milk. And right now that's where we feed, and they do manure too much in there. So bringing the cows back to here would keep that area a lot more hygienic and clean where I'm milking and sitting in the morning, and probably reduce the flies a fair bit too in the hot months. The only thing that's stopping us is that I like to clean this area out with our little dingo, because it makes really good compost in here. I just keep putting wood chip down and they sort of turn it over and manure into it with their feet. They turn it over and manure into it. And I really like that because I can sort of clean it out every fortnight and get more compost. So I just need to be able to fit the little dingo digger in here, because if I have to do it with a shovel, I probably won't do it because it'll take me too long. So I like to, be able to do it with a little machine. It's all about you, isn't it, Reg? Hey, it's all about you. So feed Maggie while she's in the head bale and not have this guy eat all her food, because he doesn't need as much food as what Maggie does, but he tends to overeat because he can get to her food. All that manure-y, hay, wood chip mix, I scoop all that up and I run it down that fence, past that car, run it down that fence into the veggie garden. So it will mean that Maple will still be able to be in here, because we're calf separating at night time. She needs to be separated off Maggie so she doesn't get all the milk. I'm just going to run and get Maggie some hay. This is how I milk Maggie, if you've not seen before. I wipe her down with some wet cloths, with a little bit of nice detergent in there. And then I get rid of the first 4 squirts of milk, because that's where if there's any bacteria sitting in the teat, it will be in the actual teat. So I get rid of the first 4 squirts of milk. And I give it another wash up. And lately she's been quite clean, so I've been using 1 or 2 cloths. Sometimes when it's raining and it's really muddy, I'll go through like 6 cloths trying to get her clean. But lately she's been lovely and clean for me. And then once that's done, change buckets to my empty one. And I start milking. Bruce. What's the milk dude? Hey, milk. Hey, Bruce. Where's he? Just giving the cat some milk.
Sit down. Mom, after this, can I have more?
So the plan is today to plant some seeds and also move the big pigs. So we have to get a pig shelter out of the permanent pig pens and move it over to the veggie patch. And put Reggie away because somehow he's got out. What you doing, Reg? He's broke through the fence. Just gonna eat everything. What you doing, May? He's broke through the crate fence. Maggie doesn't get out too. That's not Maggie, mate. That's Reggie. He's doing a poo in the sandpit. Go, Reggie. Come on. Stop eating everything. Oh, there it goes. There goes my flowers. Hey, Eddie, don't talk like that, please. Come on. Oh. Eddie, it's all right. Somewhere in here, my flowers. He did tip it out, yeah. Looks like he did a poo in the sandpit, didn't he? That's gross. Looks like we're replanting plants today too. Okay, so I have put the shed in this veggie garden. This is the veggie garden that I just took the potatoes and onions out of. And so there's a lot of weeds growing in here, and I just want the pigs to turn it over a little bit and eat all those weeds and aerate the soil a little bit, so that I've put the shed in a spot where it's not too close to this fence, because Stan, our boar, will push it into the fence and try and, he's a bit tricky, he tries to put things on the fence so he can get out. He knows how. And so I put it in this spot because I also want to make sure they have shade all day. So I put it in the direction of the sun where they should have shade all day, not only from the shade from the backside, but also underneath, and also the direction of the rain, where the rain will most likely come from. Not that they sleep in it when it rains anyway. They prefer to sleep in the open when it rains. They love the rain, but just trying to take into consideration all the things. So I'll move that fence back. I'll move that fence back away from it, and then it should be in the right spot. Alright, so that's in there. Now I just have to go and let the big pigs out and get them to follow me up to that veggie garden so I can put them in there. And then we'll be done and I'll be able to plant some seeds. It's always a bit of a worry moving the pigs because, you know, best case they follow me straight away with a bucket into the pen and they're happy and electrified and all goes well. Worst case, they end up at the neighbour's house eating the neighbour's dog or something. That's like what I think about when I'm moving the pigs. I always think about the worst case, so I'm just going to get Harry to give me a hand. Pig, pig, pig. Come on, pigs. Come on, pigs. Pig, pig, pig. Come on, pig, pig, pig. Pig, pig, pig. Pig, pig, pig. Pig, pig, pig. Come on. Pig, pig, pig. Pig, pig, pig. Come on. Pig, pig, pig. Yeah, that'd be good, Mum.
Which way? How do I switch it off?
Just with the dial there.
Okay.
Good big.
Santa's got to be the biggest pig in Nara.
Oh, he's bigger than Piggy was. Our Piggy.
Oh, he's male.
What do you reckon? He's 300 odd kilos, Beck? The biggest problem with
Yesterday, and then there was on the beach today. And we went to the beach.
Harry, where's your other pole gone? Hopefully they stay in there. When you move pigs, it's important to make them really hungry before you move them so they actually follow the food. Today they weren't hungry enough and we had to chase them down the hill and back up again. They weren't hungry enough. We got to take a lot of breaks because it's hot outside and the boys need to go to the toilet and eat and drink, and we just got to pace ourselves. So we're in having some watermelon.
No, I'm going to the beach.
And we're going to the beach
Mum,
this afternoon.
Mum, I don't have to go to the toilet. Why does I have to go to the toilet?
I just mean sometimes.
Go to the beach.
Not all the time, just sometimes. And I need to have coffee. Sometimes. A normal day for us is working in the morning, then we will go inside and have a break in the hottest part of the day. Usually the boys have a rest. In the past they've had a sleep because they're still only young, but now they don't sleep too much in the daytime, so they usually just have a little rest. Sometimes that's watching a movie, sometimes that's doing some colouring in or playing with some toys. So today the boys are just doing some craft and I'm getting some housework done, and then we'll come out when it cools down a little bit and get the rest of our chores done. What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to colour in it.
You don't need the shovel.
Really? So long. Whoa! I did.
Look at these beautiful zucchinis. Oh, that one's had a nibble out of it.
Boy, and boy, guess what Mum's gonna do? Let's go to the other side. See, Mum's gonna come that way.
They're enormous.
Instead of that way.
Look at these cute little round ones.
But
These were actually a variety that the pigs have created. You can get a zucchini like this, but I don't think it's the one because I've never planted that one before. So I think this is a cross-pollinated variety between like this one, which is, you can see it's the same colour,
I can stab you.
and some sort of round variety, like a squash or something. It's pretty cool. I'm going to try really hard to show a more whole version of our life here, because the reason why I'm doing this YouTube venture, this YouTube channel, is to encourage people to grow their own food. We are, in this big scheme of things, we're only pretty early still. We have only been growing our own food for a year. It's been an enormous learning curve, but I feel like if I'm going to encourage people and I'm going to show people, I think the best thing would be to really show people an overall picture of what it takes to grow your own food. So all the little bits and pieces that I'm showing you is actually our life, and this is what it takes to grow your own food. Both my husband and I have external jobs away from the farm, so I also want to show that. I want to show you guys what it's taking us to grow our own food. So I want to tell you guys when we're going to work. I want to tell you guys when I'm doing housework, because I don't want to make it seem like this is easy. like a really easy thing to do. I want you guys to get a real picture of what it takes to grow your own food. So we haven't bought meat in a whole year. We eat out usually once a week. That's our treat. We eat out as a treat, as a family. We eat out sometimes with friends and other family as well. So other than that, we have grown all our own meat for a whole year. Now, growing our own food, it certainly has not been limiting. If not, I think it's been beneficial to us. And I say that because when we bought our own meat and majority of our own groceries, we really lived on chicken thigh fillets and beef mince. And pretty much my whole week would be tailored to chicken and beef mince because that was the cheapest option for us, and we couldn't actually afford to buy any other meat. We certainly didn't buy steak. Sure, we bought sausages, but we couldn't afford to buy steak or cutlets or anything like that. So this lifestyle has allowed us to be a lot more, have more variety in what we're eating. I would have never bought rabbit. And like I said, I would have never bought steak. So now we eat rabbit, we eat chicken, we eat beef, we eat lamb, we eat a lot of lamb. That's another thing. Lamb's too expensive. I could have never bought lamb. And so I suppose we now put our money into the animals and into this farm. Interest rates have gone up a lot since we bought this property. So we have a normal mortgage for an 80-acre property. We actually have a pretty normal mortgage because we share this property with my parents. So we're on the same boat as pretty much every other homeowner, but interest rates have gone up considerably, and so that makes it quite expensive to live. So our money's more going into our mortgage now and going into caring and feeding for animals, because when we harvest the animals, we do it all ourselves. So they're killed here, they're prepped here, and they're frozen and packed here as well. It doesn't leave our farm. And that's where we can save money. You're allowed to do that. That's perfectly normal. We're not allowed to sell the meat. Legally, we're not allowed to sell the meat, but we can produce our own meat. So that is where we save money. And like I said, it's better for us because we know what's going into that meat. We know it's better for us, and it's also cheaper that way, and we get more variety. So it's definitely better for us. And that's what I want to show to you guys, and that's what I want to encourage everybody to do in whatever scale you can, whether you're renting, you've got a small backyard, a big backyard, a property, if you're starting out or you've already started, whatever scale you're on. I want to show you our lives so that I can encourage whoever will listen to grow your own food, because it's beneficial to us. It's a better life for us, but also that we're spending more time with our kids, doing this sort of lifestyle and farming this way, where I'm actually spending more time with my kids as opposed to, going to work, earning money to buy food that's less quality and less variety for us.
Sticky bubble.
A sticky bubble, that's so cool.
What's that in pot?
So this morning I milked, and then I leave all the milk supplies on the floor until I come in at lunchtime, and then I wash them all up instead of wasting the cooler temperatures of the day on doing housework. I do housework around lunchtime. What little house, we don't have a very big house. I don't need to do that much housework, but it's just sort of picking the best time and prioritizing what needs to be done. So this bucket that I used this morning usually has a bit of grass and dirt and cow poo on the bottom of it. So I used the washcloths that I used on Maggie this morning to wipe the bottom of the bucket, so I can wash that in the sink without putting grass and dirt everywhere. And then I rinse these washcloths out, and then they go through the washing machine with usually floor mats and things that we don't put on our faces or wear. I try not to put them in with like towels and things that we use on our face. I more put it through with, you know, less important items. When we're eating and cooking, we do a lot of whole cooking, so we use a lot of vegetables. So I cook everything from scratch. We have a tub or a bucket, usually beside the floor, ready to catch all the scraps. There's radish tops and watermelon. I put bits of milk, there's some lettuce in there just for the pigs. So we're making sure we keep all our scraps for the pigs.
Look at Ollie. Hey, Holly. Mom said I can mix all the colours.
So I always wash those buckets and tubs last, and then I sanitize the sink. Thanks guys, catch you next time.